listening to the Shade Place Podcast. Ah, yes. Finally. You've been listening to the Shade Place Podcast. Ah, yes. Finally.
So top shelf, I'ma need help cause the flow so hot that it just might melt your face. I outlast, outrap everybody else and I beat these beats, booty tang with the belt. I'm sickening, Ernest Hemingway Sam with the scribbling. I'm like Kyrie with the dribbling. I'm a rap junkie for adrenaline. Then again, what I need a middleman for? When I got a flow so dope, it can get everybody high. How did I get so good at this? And it look like I ain't even much gotta try. Me, oh my flow so G-O-D-L-Y. You would think I'm castrated cause can't nobody beat this guy. I'm too real, never been CGI. They could never be this fly. I'll never sell my soul to a soul. I gotta keep what's mine. Popo knocking at my door. Now I gotta flee and hide. Every beat I get, I murder. They got me on CSI. Rapping like it's do or die. Rapping like it's you and I. Rapping like Lil Wayne in '09 when he was really high. Rapping like I'm in the sky. Rapping like I'm Killer Mike. Rapping like a coke fiend. Look at how I'm doing lines. Barred up like I'm doing time. Put the beat in a brutal bind. Don't have to cut my head open to see I got a ruthless mind. Okay,
I know it's valleys and it's peaks, but I got the faith of a mustard seed. Lord, give me a sign. I need a sign. God always come through for me. Always come through. That's my God. Lord, give me a sign. Dear Lord, I know you watching over me, and everything is happening how it's supposed to be. Thank you for them challenges because they strengthen me spiritually, physically, and mentally. Dark times gave me compassion and lots of empathy. I wanted to connect with people. You gave me the tendency. This whole time you was using me to build a legacy. I got one kid but been through 5 different pregnancies. I'm surrendered to your plan. You done got me out some jams. Don't know what you doing now. Later on I understand. In times that I felt alone brought me closer to you. That's why I give you all this praise cause I owe it to you. Some people probably think I talk too much about you. If they knew you how I knew you, they would never doubt you. Don't know what I do without you. You ain't sent a sign yet, but I know you bout to. Lord, give me a sign. Lord, I got a lot that's on my mind. Everything gon' be fine in due time. Lord, give me a sign. Give me a sign. I've been going through some things, but the flower can't bloom without the rain. Lord, give me a sign. I know it's valleys and it's peaks, but I got the faith of a mustard seed. Lord, give me a sign. I need a sign. God always come through for me. Always come through. That's my God. Lord, give me a sign.
There's a season for everything, and a time for every matter under the heavens.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. 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 Coming from Lazarus, got me a bag to get it. I got a bag to get it. I look at the team with it. The walk is different. They say the talk is different. And I want to ball it. They say I'm tripping. But I feel like I'm missing. I'm in the road to the dishes. Imagine little. Man, it's so my work. Think of the people that came before me. I'll keep on grinding and carrying on. I'll be really exploring. Nothing again like the same is for me. I got some people that need me. Brothers, they say they believe in me. Singing the song that again. From the day it is stay with me back to the base. I know they be hating. When they say I'm finna make it, gotta say I'm gonna be patient. Cause it is a youngin'. When they see Bill getting famous, and I'm gonna really tell. They hold me down, even when no one's around. My brothers, they been on my side. They all been around. I pray that they all get it done. Coming from Lazarus, got me a bag to get it. I got a bag to get it. I don't get a team with it. The walk is different. They say the talk is different. And I wanna ball field. They say I'm tripping, so I'm really missing. I'm in the world of the dishes, last day. They was so good. Fighting these drugs like every day. Even it's coming from every way. Pressure up in it in every face. I pray to God that he made it away. Come from the back of the dead. I know that it hurts. They only want me at my worst. So Christ gave me put in the work. Show me my worth. One is the last, now I'm first. I hate these things. Family curse that they thought was on me, man, I'm taking it all. And I'm taking the blood of the lamb and I shed it on me as I pray that I never be loved. I was born in this shit, so I was born in the hood, but I never let that take me from what is good. And for this moment, they knew that I would, but I'm calling them and they knew that I could. So making rascals, got me a bag to get it. I got a bag to get it, I look at the team with it. The walk is different, they say the talk is different, and I want it all to open. They say I'm tripping, but I think I'm really missing. Yeah, man, the work for the dishes, fast and little. Man, I'm so man, what a nigga rascals. Got me a bag to get it, I got a bag to get it, I look at the team with it. The walk is different, they say the talk is different, and I want it all to open. They say I'm tripping, so I think I'm really missing. Yeah, man, the work for the dishes, fast and little. Man, I'm so man, what a nigga. Man, I'm so man, work.
Let's go. Let's go. Come on in, my friend. Come on in. Unmute yourself. There you go. There you go. I appreciate it. Good afternoon, y'all. Good afternoon. Once again, I am here, y'all. Y'all already know that I do pop-ups. You know what I'm saying? I got a great guest this afternoon. You know what I'm saying? The time is different where I am at and where he is at. But we're on time. Y'all already know how I love to do the intros. Y'all know that I like to do the videos as well, you know, just so y'all can come in and y'all could just watch the show. Yeah, I mean, I hope that everybody have a great day. You know what I'm saying? I hope that everybody having a great Wednesday as well. I mean, so good evening, my friend. How are you? Introduce yourself to everybody, please. Let them know who you are.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, and I do deeply appreciate the OU logo and the court. You make me feel right at home. We're in different places.
I appreciate
I'm in Oklahoma City, almost home of the University of Oklahoma. But yeah, my name's Jay Hall. I am an author, an educator, a podcaster, a dad, a husband, all things like that. And I'm excited to just come and hang out and talk.
Oh man, well, I'm glad that you reached out. Truth be told, you know what I'm saying, because like I think that you reached out to me the day I literally just got done a show. I think I got done a show that night, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get back to him within like the next hour or two because I know that I didn't have to work the next day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I really just worked that whole day. You know, just coming from work, and then I had the show. I'm like, all right, God, I'm a little tired. You know what I'm saying? So, and I am glad that you is here, though. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad that you reached out. Truth be told, you know what I'm saying, to me. You know, during that time frame. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate it. I appreciate you for being obedient to the Spirit of God. And I'm glad that I was too. I just had to just set myself in Him. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right. So you say you're an author. Okay. What is the name of your book, if you mind me asking?
No, not at all. In fact, I'm excited to talk about it. So my first book is called God Help Me, I'm a Young Dad. Looks a little bit like that. There you go. Except that's backwards, because that's how video cameras work. But yeah, it's I wrote it 2.5 years ago now. Started writing it when I found out that my son was going to have his first child, and had all these things that I wanted him to know, that I hoped he'd learn from me as a dad, but I didn't learn them. And so started writing letters to him, and then realized there's probably a lot of young dads out here that could use the same kind of information. And so decided to turn those letters into a book. And the goal was to get the book out before my grandson was born. So it was supposed to come out on March 15th. Andy was supposed to be born on March 17th. Little dude showed up 2.5 weeks early, so he beat the book. He came out on March 1st, and the book came out on March 15th, but worked out anyway. So yeah.
Man, hey, and I heard that. So you said one of the books. So my question is, since you said one of the books, right? How many books do you have?
So I've got to my second book came out earlier this year. Came out in March. A very different kind of thing, and I just happen to have it. It's called College Unpacked. So I, by vocation, am an academic dean at a community college here in Oklahoma City, and have spent lots of years watching students struggle not with academic preparation or being smart, but just struggling with to navigate the system that is ed. So I wrote College Unpacked for all those students that I've had and the ones to come, and it's everything from how to decide where to go to school, through the application process. Once you get accepted, what do you do? Even into the first year, how do you work with professors? What do you do when things go wrong? How to have a great first day? So all of that stuff in one place, just to give students a way to enter their campus with confidence.
Wow. So my next question is, what book was more challenging and why?
Great question. I think the college book was more challenging. Maybe there's two answers to that. The challenge of God Help Me, I'm a Young Dad, of my fatherhood book, was just trying to say what I wanted at the same time, say what I felt like God wanted to young dads. And so putting the combination of stories that I wanted to tell with stuff straight from the Bible, and then that more theological biblical application was really important to me to get right. So felt like I needed to be very careful with that. You know, we've been told to be careful with what we do with the Word of God. And so injecting my personality, my stories, my experiences with what I believe to be true from the Bible. That one made that hard. The college book, on the one hand, was pretty easy because I've lived in that world for 20 years now. So I know what a bursar is. I know what the registrar does. I know how to get accepted and all that. The challenge Unpacked really was getting everything in that I wanted to get in, and trying to explain it in a way that would make sense to somebody who had no prior college. I am absolutely, having worked in higher ed for 20, I know the language that we use.
Of course.
Sometimes that language does not translate to anything else outside of our world. So trying to put it in a way that a Penn student, somebody who knows nothing about college, whose family doesn't know anything about college, could get the information they need to go and to be successful. So both, I guess, is the answer to your question. Just in different ways.
Nah, because when you said that, right? Like I did some research, but when me and you started talking, I'm like, all right, he gave me more with the intro, so I could use that too. Cool. You know what I'm saying? Look, cool. You know, all right. You know, and it's funny, right? I got 4 books out. I'm working on this 5th one, right?
Nice.
And thanks. And I'm like, and I always tell my guests this, you know, I'm like, all right, God, why is this book taking so long? You know, and when I read like what the Spirit of God had gave me, right? And then I look at my previous books and I look at the scriptures that I use from the previous books to now, and the new scripture that is in this book, right? You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Like, and I'm like, wow, all right, I look at these scriptures different now. Like, God gave me a different revelation. And I'm like, wow, that right there is amazing. You know what I'm saying? And and I'm just like, wow. And I see that one of my sisters, she's like right now she is beating the con and something. And she asked me where can she find my books. I'm trying to find them. Sis, I got you. Look, you know what I'm saying? I got you. Like I got you. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, and I'm just like, wow, because the first 4 books I was done like every 6 months to a year. Where I thought this 5th book was gonna be done last year. I thought it was gonna be done this year. Nah. And then I look at it and it got some definitions in it, and I'm like, oh, that's why it's not done yet. You know what I'm saying? Because I had to go through something this season to realize where I am at now.
Yeah.
So when I write, I write, but when I don't write, it could be like a week or two, probably a month. But when I write, I'll write for like 2.5 hours. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely know what you mean by that. You know, like
No, I'm the same way. I write in spurts. In fact, I spent the first 2 years after God help me, Young Dad came out, trying to write a very similar book for college, and just couldn't. So, it kind of after beat you off a little bit, you walk away from it. And finally realized that the need wasn't necessarily for an inspirational book for college students, but more for an informational book. And once that switch kind of got tripped, then it took me 6 weeks to write. Again, because I have that information, I know what's there, but it was just getting to the process of this is the kind of book it needs to be, and then off we went.
Hey, and I definitely feel you. You know, and I see that one of my big sisters is on there. Thanks, sis. And all right, so Nikki said that she only see 3. Where is another 3rd? Sis, you gotta type that in. And I think I know which ones you sing. You gotta type in the favorite underdog, or type in Breon. You should find one of them. Look, because I know that 3 of them gonna come up. You know what I'm saying? I at least know 3 of them gonna pull up. I only see 1. Well, you gotta type in the names. You could find the first one is rookie season. You could look for From Me to You, the favorite underdog, and I believe Breon. So yeah, wow. And this sound like that you just doing some great things, man.
Well, that's always the hope, right?
Yeah, you're right.
I've always wanted to be sure that I was encouraging whoever it was that I had the opportunity to encourage. And so again, the book written for dads, because of the age of my kids, I've got a lot of their friends and people, church and work and other places in my world that just that early stage of being a dad kid, from birth to 8 or 9 years old, just trying to figure it out. And there's just a lot of stuff that comes at guys like that tell them they're not adequate, they're not doing enough, they're not good enough, they're not being who they need to be. So my goal really is to be a voice that says, you're okay.
Right.
Not perfect, because none of us are there, but God gives us what we need to do what he's called us to do. We've just got to trust him and go with it.
Yeah. And my sister Nikki was she had just said his book is about dads and she loves it. Yeah, cool. From what I'm hearing, and she's a podcaster too. You know what I'm saying? But nice. but that's real talk though, Nikki. Yeah. And it's about young dads. So what have you learned this year about yourself that you didn't learn in the prior years?
Oh, wow. Well, one of the maybe obvious things, because I have books out and I'm trying to sell them, is that I was not born to be a marketer. But in a more maybe straight vein. I'm in a leadership position, have been there for lots of years, and have encountered some things over the last few months that I've never encountered before in 25 years of being in leadership. And so I think one of the things that I have begun to see about myself is I've grown up. Years ago, Jay, in leadership would have handled some of these things differently than I do now. I credit experience, but I also just credit growing up, right? Growing in my faith, growing in who God wants me to be, and being able to access more and the peace and the joy and the quiet that's from being connected to rather than jumping on things that might in my own self.
Right. And I feel what you're saying. And Nikki, she is on the ball like right now. She is tearing the comments up, and and she just said that we need more books like this for first time fathers. Yeah,
That's awesome.
Look,
I appreciate that, Nikki.
Hey, you know, like you got folks that's behind you 100%. So my next questions. All right, Sooner or Thunder, and why?
Oh, wow. Well, okay. So in this moment, it is
in this moment
because of what's going on, and they're sure fun to watch. I know we're getting a lot of grief, NBA Twitter about Shea kind of stuff. Listen, flop or no flop, I'm in. Lifelong, I've been a Sooner since before I could spell it or knew what it was.
Wow.
I've been going to basketball, football, baseball, softball, gymnastics meets. My daughter was a gymnast, so we go to the gymnastics meets. I am born Sooner bred. Basketball is a little bit harder to love OU right now. I'll just be careful there. I still, man, I love watching them. This whole world of college basketball right now is a little bit harder to get excited about because players for a year and then watch them go off somewhere else. But the name on the front of the jersey, I'm always going to cheer for. So if you pin me down and say one or the other, it's going to be OU. But I will tell you, in this moment, based on last night, we're up 1. Got to go with the Thunder.
Thunder. All right.
Okay. So because you're an East Coast guy.
I'm an East Coast guy. Yes.
Who's your team?
I'm a Sixers fan. So okay. Who I'm going with now? Look, I want to say New York because it's close. Because we close. I want to say that, but the Pacers, they got something to prove. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, so it's up for grabs for me, truth be told.
Well, and I think that series is up for grabs. I mean, we're not here necessarily talking just about basketball, but I think that series hopefully will be the one that's happening here. Because I'd rather that 4-0 we just get to sit for a while. But if those two teams are a little bit more evenly matched and know each other pretty well.
Yeah. All right. So Nikki said he has 2 books. Yes, from what I know, yes, he has 2 books. Yep, Nikki. He sure do. So, all right. So I'm gonna ask you a sports question again. Trae Young, Blake Griffin. Why?
Oh.
Hey, look, I have to ask. I gotta ask these questions.
These are the penetrating. These are the hard questions. This is the stuff we need to be talking about. I'm gonna go Blake Griffin for a couple of reasons.
Okay.
One, because he stayed. So I'm thinking Sooners as Sooners. I'm going Blake Griffin because Blake stayed when he could have gone. So he stuck around one more year. I love that kind of big bruising kind of basketball.
Mm-hmm.
So, here's a guy that is banging his head off the backboard and throwing people around. And both of them are Oklahoma guys. The combination of Blake and Taylor, because Blake's brother Taylor Griffin played at the same time he did. So that was kind of a fun deal. And my boys were at an age when Blake Griffin was here that they asked him. So, just so much about his time at OU. I remember more fondly, incredible, and has turned out to be a pro. And what I appreciate about both of them is they have been very intentional about giving back, not just to the university, but to the community. And there are buildings, and Trey Young's got a whole youth center that he's funded in Norman. Blake's done a lot of great stuff in the community. So I love that even though Trey was here 1 year and gone, he's from Norman, and so he's a Sooner, like he's a Norman guy. And but if you pin me down, it's going to be Blake, as much for what he meant to my boys as what he did on the court, but also I can't get away from the fact that when he had the chance to go, he's more year.
Oh wow! All right, so Nikki said that you has two books. So she mentioned College Unpacked. Yes, Nikki. And I know that she probably gonna have some questions. I got a funny feeling that she about to ask the question. You know what I'm saying? Wow, that right there, is amazing. You know what I'm saying? Next question. Sooner football. Sooner football. Hey, look, I gotta ask these questions, man. Like,
no, again, this is the important stuff. I am not off the wagon. I am not one of those guys that's like burn the thing to the ground and start over. You're a Sixers guy, so I can say this, you'll get it. I trust the process, right? We're going somewhere. I'm not sure where it is yet.
Mm-hmm.
But I think here's what gives me hope about OU.
Okay.
We have an unbelievable defense.
Right.
Offensively, we struggled partly because our top 6 receivers were hurt. Also looking in the portal, I think before season ever ended. We've got a good quarterback and great guys coming back. Our defense is going to be tough to on. We're not winning it all this year, but we're going to look better. And I think, Venables, OU guy, he started here. He didn't start here, but kind of got his big move here. I think we got a chance. There are some games I think we're probably going to struggle in a bit. We have to go to Alabama this year after beating them in kind of a shock last year. I think that might turn into a trip to the woodshed. But yeah, if nothing else, it's fun to watch SEC football. After being in the Big 12 for so many years, you kind of get used to and a little bored with some of those teams. It's been kind of a fun deal to seems like Bama and Mississippi State came here this year. Ole Miss, one of the two. Going to be cool to have Tennessee come back this year. So yeah, it's good stuff. Not great stuff, but it's good stuff.
Right. I totally, understand that, and not just on the sports side, but in life as well. You know what I'm saying? So what inspires you? You could give me your top 5 that inspires you, and why? Why those?
I will tell you one of the big things that inspires me, and it's this. You're picking a good time to ask me this question. We just had commencement last weekend, which all of our graduates walking across the stage. I am constantly inspired by our students.
Nice.
Like I said, I work at a community college. We tend to get students who are less academically prepared than 4-year school. We have a lot of older students who are coming back. We have a lot of students who are coming back after their service.
Oh, nice.
And lots of parents. I mean, lots of just different. I mean, not what you think of when you think of college students. They're not 18 to 24-year-olds. And I am inspired by every one of them because of the jar on the work they're putting in, the dedication. One of the great community colleges. People don't go there by it. When they're at our school, they are there on purpose. That's something they're trying to accomplish. And so to watch these students walk our halls, sit in our classes, go through all their processes to better themselves, to better their opportunity in some way. I say all the time, the goal of education is transformation, that we transform individuals, families, and communities, and we get to do that. So when I have commencement, and I get to sit front and center because I'm one of the deans. So I'm watching every student as they walk across. And I'll be completely honest with you. I tear up. I
Oh,
tear up
right.
when the kids come across. No, I tear up when some 40-year-old cross and I hear their kids in the audience yelling, "That's my mom, that's my dad." I mean, that's the good stuff right there. We had a father and son graduate together. His dad
Nice.
went back to school when his son went to school, crossing the thing together, and I'm just kind of a mess sitting up front. I'm just inspired by the heart and the passion that they bring, the intensity that they bring, the work that they put in. I love what I do. I love what I do. I love what I get to do. So my
Wow.
students are inspirational, but also my faculty are inspirational because they are the ones who have taken on the task. So I tell my folks all the time, our job is to take every student we have and help them make the next step in their academic journey, whatever that looks like. And for some of them, it's helping them pass the next test. For some of them, it's helping them get to a 4-year school. For some of them, it's helping them finish this degree and get a certificate in the workforce. For some of them, their goal is school or PhD or med school or whatever. So whatever we can do to help them do that. And I watch folks day in and day out, often without the thanks they deserve, certainly without money they deserve, because public community college. But to say do, and the heart they put into it challenges me every day to try to keep up with the level of energy that they're bringing. So that's a couple.
Yeah. Okay. Nice. And it's funny, right? That as I hear you talk, I hear you speak. You know what I'm saying? And you is very dedicated, and I say that not just as a man of God, you know what I'm saying, but as an educator as well, because I did it for 8 years. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
To make a long story short, right? I had left church this weekend, right? Because I had to work. Because now I do retail, right? So one of my kids had seen me. Like, he knew exactly who I was. I ain't seen him about like a good while, and I think that he wanted to talk. And I'm like, nah, bro, I gotta go to work. like, you know what I'm saying? Nah, I can't talk to you. But I gave him the handshake. I'm like, nah, I can't talk to you. Like, you know what I'm saying? But it's just the fact that it made me realize, like, yo, I left a great impact. You know what I'm saying? And just by him, like, just want to talk, and I was like, nah, I got to go to work. I'm like, all right, God, that's a sign. You know what I'm saying? All right, I see what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? And I'm also an assistant basketball coach too. You know what I'm saying? With a friend of mine. You know what I'm saying? He's a coach at one of our youth leagues in the city of Chester, Pennsylvania. You know what I'm saying? And like, I love when I see my boys. I love practice because I could make it to practice throughout the week. No problem. It's the weekend where I'm like, all right, I know I have to work, so let me leave church and let me call them before I clock in. You know what I'm saying? And just encourage them to let them know, like, yo, like, I am here, but I'm not there. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna give y'all the words of encouragement. Go out there and have fun. I always say this, but I always say, go have fun and win. Look, go have fun and win. And they take that serious too, because they know I can't be there, but they know I work though. So,
well, I think we sometimes miss the scope of the impact because we don't alter it right then. Right? Our students aren't always great at, immediately saying, "Man, you were so impacted. Man, this class was so great," or whatever, because that's just not how they communicate. And so, to get to see them in the community, to get to watch them do real things, we have students that graduated from OCCC a couple years who are now graduating from another of the schools around us, and they're sending us stuff saying, "Hey, thank you. You were a huge part of my journey. You helped me get started." And those are the moments you realize, oh, wait a minute, this really is good stuff.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, you're right about that. You know, and truth be told, Jay, when I left, I ain't want to go to work. I'm not even gonna lie to you, right? But when I seen him, I had a great rest of the night.
It'll do it.
You know what I'm saying? Like
It'll do
I
it.
had a great rest of the night. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, you know, yeah, you know, I done spent time in God, and God just confirmed that when I seen him, knowing that I was in a rush to get to work on time and they want to go. But that made my day though. That right there was confirmation.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, you know what I'm saying? And now I've learned when I get this job, but you know, again, that it'd be my dream job, my career job. You know what I'm saying? That I will cherish it more.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And this time, yeah, I'm around. I'm definitely gonna cherish it more. You know what I'm saying? So, and I thank God just for that. You know, because I feel as though that He know that I needed that when I was going into work.
It's amazing, isn't it? The little
You know,
things that show up right when we need them.
yeah. You know, like the word was good. The word was just about to be good. And I looked at the time and I'm like, dang, I gotta go to work. Doggone it. Look, you know, like, and I left church. I left upset, but I wasn't upset. Upset was just the fact that I wanted to stay, but I'm glad that I seen him though. So that's a plus. You
That's
know,
awesome.
God, that made me realize that God really looks out for his, you know what I'm saying? And like with your books, you know what I'm saying? Wow. I believe that a lot of first time fathers will need that book. Like I'm not a dad yet, but I would like to like get a head start. I'm an uncle. I got nieces and nephews, so I believe I got a head start in real life. But still, I need to look like, all right, this is what you do. You know what I'm saying? All right, cool. You know,
Well, I
like,
think the way that it's set up, uh, you know, I think this that anybody can use in some ways because it so the subtitle is 10 Essentials for Becoming the Dad Your Kids Need. And it's
mm,
about love, it talks about joy, it talks about gratitude, it talks and how we build those things in lives as dads so that we can then around and build them into our the lives of our kids, not by just saying, hey, you need to be loving or hey, you joyful, but by having them watch us live those things out. And I was real intentional about including application things that dads can do with their kids to help them build those things into their lives. It's not just, hey, there's stuff you need to know. Here's things you can do. So, as an uncle, your nieces and nephews need joy. They need gratitude. They need to learn to serve. They need all these things as well.
yeah,
So, you know, you have the chance. I'm got 14 nieces and nephews, and I
okay.
love the time that I get to spend with encourage them. And
Same here.
so, just as much looking at their parents, well, maybe not just as much, but looking at their parents, they're looking into their aunts and the other significant adults in their world, even their basketball coaches, right? The people who
Yeah, look, yeah,
they us and they handle adversity. They see how we handle bad days when we're leaving church and running to work and not necessarily they they see that in us. And even though we don't stop then and go, now this is what joy looks like, or now this is what peace looks like,
right.
we're demonstrating it.
A
And
demonstrator of Christ, yes.
yeah, so that once they see it, then they know what it looks like. It's one thing to sit in Sunday school and be told, hey, be joyful. It's a whole other thing to be around somebody who really gets it.
Right.
And then you step back and go, oh, okay, that's what that looks like. That's what that feels like. So I think a
Most
lot of the God Help Me book is really encouraging dads to build these things into their existence so that when their kids are around them, or even when they're not, they are encounter these things that are a part of their dad so that they can build them into themselves.
wow. That that right there says a lot. You know, because because during the season, right? The season is done, right? But I always ask my boys the first question is throughout the week when they come to practice. What did you learn in school today? That's my first question, and I know that they don't like it, but hey, you know what I'm saying? But what did you learn in school today? How is your mental? And I do the same thing when I had a chance to go to the game. How is your mental? And they used to look at me like, "Why are you asking me this?" I want to know how your mental is, because my mental is fine, but I had to make sure I want to be ready for you. You know what I'm saying? I want to be aware of what's going on with you, and you know what I'm saying. I want us to be on the same surface. You know what I'm saying? Up, but on the same plateau. You know what I'm saying? That's real talk, and that's when I talk too. You know what I'm saying? And I would ask my kids, because some of them was in mid to school and higher school, so you just could just think of the personalities that I had to go through from Monday through Friday. But I will always ask them, soon as they come in the classroom, how is your morning? How was the bus ride? they used to look at me like, why are you asking me this? Because I want to know. I want to know how this day gonna be. I like to know stuff.
Well, and there's something about being there's something about being present with them, right? Right. We have the opportunity to ask questions to our lives, to make ourselves more than just the coach, or more than just the teacher, or more than just the dean, right? More than just that guy who's there. We have the opportunity, when we engage with them, to let them know we care about you, and that our interaction, our engagement is going to be about just the transaction to me dispensation to you. Like, I care about you as a person. And those are the kind of questions that demonstrate that asking, did you do your math homework, whatever, that's one kind of relationship. But to get into how was the bus ride, how was breakfast, whatever, that treats them like people, which they are. And it also demonstrates to us that we're people.
Yeah. So I'm just like, wow, and they would tell me, you know what I'm saying? So, but my thing was just like that first week of school, or that first week of practice, the first week of the games, that they would be like, all right, what I'm saying? Like, how long is he going to be here? You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
So I totally understand, so what else is it that you do? You're a dean. Wow. So what's that's like? Because you wear a hat of many. You wear many hats. So from least to I'm trying to use a good word, from least to greatest.
My chief job, honestly, is to make sure that my folks have what they need to do their jobs. So, as dean, I oversee the academics for our entire program. I'm in charge. But a lot of that is me working with upper administration in the college to help make sure that we have the resources we need, to make sure we have the personnel that we need, to make sure even just little things. It sounds like kind of a fancy title, but I spend a lot of time talking about, hey, we need to go clean the classroom, or hey, we need to make sure the trash gets taken out. I mean, just little things like that. But also, I help oversee curriculum. I help oversee staffing and who's going to be in the classrooms and how we have what we need. I oversee the budget, which is always a lot of fun, especially when education kind of keeps getting cut. But really, my chief job, and I tell anybody who needs to know, my chief job is to make sure that my folks have what they need to be successful, because most of my students don't know who I am. In fact, if you know who the dean is, you're probably in trouble. Like, you don't usually come to the dean's office for good things until the end of the year. And then I meet a bunch of them at awards banquets, which is the more fun side of it. So nobody really knows who I am. And quite honestly, most of my students don't care who I am, and that's fine. because I have great faculty who are engaging with them every day. They are the face of our franchise. And as long as they're successful, then I'm successful. So my job is to make they have what they need, both in resources, but also in terms of coaching and mindset. And hey, have you thought about? So I'm a little farther along in my journey than most of my faculty. Most of them are younger than I am. And I've been teaching for 20 years. And sometimes they come with issues and I don't know how this, or I don't know how to deal with the student, or I have this problem. And that's when I get to engage not just the administrative side, but the educator side to help them think about how to navigate, how to innovate and work in new ways in classes. Man, I've got the most fun job in the world. I know it doesn't sound like when I talk about budgets, taking the trash out, but I love the chance to be able to encourage and challenge those faculty.
Hey, and that's what it's, you know what I'm saying? That's what it's all about. You know, so you're a author, you're a dean, you're a grandfather, you're a dad. You know what I'm saying? And what else do you do? I mean, I know it's a whole lot of things that we could talk about.
I feel tired already. The other big thing in my life, I'm a podcaster like you are.
Let's talk about that. So let's talk about that. Interesting.
I'll say this, exactly a podcaster. I don't do video because it's just more than I deal with at any given time. But I've been podcasting for about 3.5 years. My show is called the Okie Bookcast. I am a voracious reader as well as a writer. And so I love talking with authors, and my show is dedicated to amplifying Oklahoma voices. You know, when people think about great authors and great writing, they don't tend to think about Oklahoma for lots of different reasons.
Look, see, that's what I'm like, okay.
You know, they tend to think, well, you know, all the great writers are in New York or in California, and there are great writers there. But we have a really, really great literary world, but we also have a rich literary tradition. I mean, books like The Outsiders by S.E. Hinton, and Invisible Man by Ralph Ellison. I mean, those are Oklahoma authors that wrote these incredible books. Books written about Oklahoma.
Interesting. And I read those books too.
There you see. You didn't know that they were from Oklahoma, right?
Yeah, that's funny, because from the outside, just looking in, right? I'm from PA. So the first thing that I think about when I think of Oklahoma, of course, the Sooners, the Thunder, you know, just country, truth be told, because I've never been out there, so I don't know what it's like. You know what I'm saying? So
no, we get a lot of that. It's if you know about Oklahoma, you either know about the sports, the Sooners, the Thunder, OSU to a major extent, but that's my bias showing perhaps. Probably know about tornadoes because we get a lot of those. You probably know about the Oklahoma City bombing that took 30 years ago. And that's about it, because most folks just don't think about a lot of other things that go on here. So the point of one is just for me to get a chance to talk, but really it is to amplify this incredible literary tradition that we have. And I've done 75 author interviews, had people from the world who reach out and say, I had no idea that there were this level of talented authors. I've talked with people who've won the American Book Award. I've talked to, New York Times bestsellers, all of them who live, within a couple hundred miles of where I live. But again, we don't necessarily think about it as something that happens here. And then the other fun thing I get to do at the show, my daughter is also an author.
Nice.
And she and I get together once a month and sit down with a guest to talk about books that we're reading and kind of what we're excited about, we're interested in. And so we just do this book chat. We sit down and spend an hour talking books that we would be doing anyway, because it's how I've always communicated. But we get to do it with a third friend, and then we share that with the world. And that's not just Oklahoma focused, but we do have Oklahoma books, because that's what I read a lot of the rest of the show. So I love doing the bookcast. I took a hiatus about a year ago, and part of the hiatus was, am I going to continue to do this? And I missed it so much that I had to come back. So it is a labor of love for sure.
And it's funny, right? Because I've been doing this for 3 years, right?
Yeah.
And some other times, truth be told, Jay, I remember I took like a week or two off. All my friends was like, "What's up with the show? What's up with the show? What's up with the show?" Like Breon, what's up with the show? And I'm like, "What? Like, what? What you mean what's up with the show?" They just like, "I haven't seen you online. I haven't seen you on YouTube. I haven't seen you on Twitch. I haven't seen you on Twitter." Because you know what I'm saying? Like, this is where I'm connect. I connect all my platforms because this is StreamYard that I'm on. So all my friends is like, why can't I find you on none of these platforms? I'm like, because I took a break. I know when my body say chill.
Yeah.
I know when my mind needs a break. I know when God says rest. you know what I'm saying?
No, absolutely. And I don't know. I will tell you this. I didn't realize when I started what a grind it could be, not in a bad way, but just it's work. You know,
Yeah,
the working, finding guests and getting ready and all the
exactly.
production side of it. There's just a lot to it. And again, it's fun, but even fun stuff can make you tired. And so,
Yeah,
every now and then you just got to stop.
yeah. You know, and I tell folks like I'll just pop up now. You know what I'm saying? Look,
Yeah.
not just I'll pop up now. Look, that's what I'm doing. I'm popping up now. You know, like I'll let you know that a show is going to come soon. Look, soon. That's what I say now. Soon. I've learned not to give time or day, but soon. Look, you know, because soon could be that same day. You know what I'm saying? Soon could be soon as I post soon. It could be right after that soon. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I love what I do, man, and I definitely say just keep on going. You know, and plus you got help though. You know what I'm saying? Me, I had help, but I've realized that God, you know, He makes you realize like, yo, I have you, yo.
Yeah.
You know that he lets us know that he'll never leave us nor forsake us. You know what I'm saying? And I had to realize that season 2, yes, season 2, because season 1 I relied on everybody to be there. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't grow until season 2. And one of my sisters, that's a podcaster, you know, and her show is Thursday night at 7:30. So shout out to the Shade Place podcast, Sis D and my brother Mark. You know what I'm saying? But Coach D once said, you know, don't write out the questions. Just let it flow. And ever since that, I took what she gave me and I've been doing that. Just let it flow. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, wow, I should have been doing this when I first started. You know?
Well, it goes back, you know, you talk about realizing that once you get into it, God gives us what we need to move forward, right? And that's Second Peter. That's this whole idea that God everything we need for life and godliness, including the to accomplish the things He wants us to accomplish. I love that that's true because that means on the days when I wake up tired, and there are plenty of those, because with full-time job and trying to write and doing these other things, there are lots of late nights. But even then, you can wake up and say, "Man, I love getting in my car on the way to work with everything turned off and just saying, God, I am tired today. And if
Right.
you don't give me the energy to get through this, I may be caught asleep at my desk at some point, but I know the energy I need. I know the enthusiasm, the joy. I mean, all those things that I need to do my work well and to encourage people around me. And I just don't have it today. Beauty
Right.
of it is I have seldom been disappointed time I got to work that there wasn't energy, wasn't excitement, there wasn't enthusiasm for the task. I don't believe for a second that that's saying I stir up. I am absolutely convinced that if God says we need, that's part of that.
Yes. That is awesome. That is awesome. And I know that it's a lot of folks that's on. Do y'all have any questions for the guests, man? I know it's a lot of folks on, and I just at all of y'all. So I want y'all to come in and ask these questions because I know y'all have questions this evening. You know, because I'm definitely gonna have questions on y'all show when y'all come on. All my friends that are podcasters, look, I'm definitely gonna have some questions. I'm definitely gonna join. Look, you know, do anybody have any questions? You know, this is the part that I love. You know, about the show that folks come like they come in and they join, and I know that it's folks that's right now that's just sharing. You know, the show, and that's what it's all about. It's definitely about the support. You know, so we seen Nikki. You know, I seen my big sis. You know, which is my mentor, my spiritual mom. You know what I'm saying, in Christ, and I seen that one of my other friends that are podcasters is on. You know what I'm saying, but yeah, this is amazing. Who thought that I'd do a show in the middle of the week? Hmm. Look, look, you know, on a Wednesday too. At that, you know, but God makes no mistakes though. Like God knows what He does when He sends folks. You know, just in your life, you know, for a purpose and a reason. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So that's how that I look at that. Like truth be told. You know, what's the best advice that someone gave you, and what's the best advice you gave someone?
Mm. I think maybe they're the same thing. And I don't know that I was ever told this. I just watched it. And I think back to my dad. And my dad was worked in the car business, was working 14-hour days, sometimes longer than that.
Wow.
But he always showed up. If it was a baseball game, he was there. If it was a choir concert that he understood nothing about because he wasn't a musical guy, he was there. Band concerts, football games. I mean, he always showed up. Now, he may have to go back to work afterwards, but he just kept showing up in not just my lives, my brothers as well. And as I think about how that impacted me, not just with my kids, but also with my work in the church and all these other things, to just keep showing up with the best, whether I understand all of it, whether I get all of it or not. So as I have invested in my kids, that's the advice I give them. That's the advice I give my faculty. We just keep showing up. We bring the best we've got. And when the best we've got, even when it's not very good, we bring it anyway. But there's something about that presence. We were talking earlier about you showing up with your basketball guys, and even on the days you can't be there, to reach out and make sure that they know you're still connected to them. You're showing up. Doesn't always look the same way, right? It's not always physical presence. But I don't know, you know, I could give lots of theological things and quote verses, but I think a lot of it comes back to that same thing. When we show up, God has made us to be, we get to be the presence of God, the present, the representative of Jesus in that space. And man, you can't do much better than that.
Right. You is so right. You know about that, man. Wow. And I know, like, this is gonna go viral. You know what I'm saying? Because, like I told you in the beginning, you had just reached out to me that night, and I just did a show that night, and I just brought a word of encouragement that night. I was like tired, so I was just like, God, look, God, But I rest though, and the next morning I was like, all right, I feel a lot better now. I done rest,
Yeah.
my mind is rest, my heart is rest, my spirit is rest, and you got it. So I'm good now, and truth be told, the thing that gets me ready in the morning, that I talk to God, but really gets me pumped. I know that since I listen to Christian rap. That's just me. That's my worship.
Yeah.
That or worship instrumentals, or you know what I'm saying, or just quietness. But that's what I listen to start my day. Like I feel like I could just be great. I mean, I'll be at work some other times, and I have some headphones. I got some earplugs, and I be in the zone. I don't be paying nobody. Nobody, just be me and God. Look, you know, So I definitely know what that is like. You know what I'm saying? Wow. So you're a dean. You're a author. You're a father, grandfather, husband. Wow. That's amazing, man.
It's a busy life. It's a one, but a good one.
But that's all right though. You know, that is all right though, because my first know that you that and I say this, you know a lot, right? A lot of folks not gonna receive the Bible. I've learned that a long time ago. I've seen that even with me, right? But if they see it, if they could see that we are a walking testimony, or
Yeah.
a walking Bible, right? That they could understand God more. And like I said, I had to see that for myself. Reading is fine. I love to read now. I haven't read since 2019 when I was in college. So I just started to read like a while ago. So you know, so I definitely know what it's like just to have that peace and that quiet. You know what I'm saying? So my next question, before we wrap this up, what's next for Jay? What's next for Jay? What's next for Jay?
Well, there's a lot going on right now around the new book, around College Unpacked. And so one of the cool things about the podcast and the things that I get to do kind of in the community, I get invited to speak in a lot of places that I would never have expected to be. I just recently was the guest MC at the Creek County Literacy Co-op Spelling Bee, which is not a thing that I ever had on my bingo card of things I would be doing. So there's a lot of speaking stuff coming up, a lot of opportunities to interact with folks around the book, and I am on a couple of books. One is I'm working on some stuff, so trying to get a novel written, like every writer is trying to do, and so we'll see how that comes out. But also, my wife and I are starting to work on a, like, God Help Me, I'm a Young Dad, for young married couples as they're getting started. We've been married, we 33 years in a couple of weeks. So I think we know a little bit of something. We've done all right. And just remembering the struggles and that came alongside us when we were young married and didn't know what we were doing and didn't know how to, interact with each other in ways that were appropriate and didn't know how to resolve conflict. I mean, just all those things that you don't naturally go into marriage knowing how to do. So we want to put something together that will help encourage folks to do that. And beyond that, it's the same stuff. It's just keep showing up. It's writing, it's podcasting, it's loving on my kids and my grandson, and again, enjoying this thing we get to do.
Yes, you know what I'm saying? And this right here is definitely it's a great thing that we do. You know what I'm saying? I take this very, very serious. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I just do it. You know, I take a lot of stuff like serious. You know, my books, my clothing line that's gonna come back soon. You know, that's taking time, but that's fine though. You know what I'm saying? It's a website that you get stuff off. Look, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And what else can I say? And that's it, man. You know, wow, we had a great talk this
Yeah.
evening. Do
I really
anybody have
appreciate it.
any questions? Do anybody have any questions for the guests? Do anybody have any questions for the guests this evening? Well, it's 5 o'clock, right? Where I'm at, so it's definitely evening right now. You know what I'm saying? Do anybody have any questions for the guests before we get up on out of here? Wow, we have an amazing time this evening, man, and it was a good time too.
Good stuff. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I believe that he probably gonna inbox me and be like, "So when can you come on the show? I got a funny feeling that it's gonna be that time. I don't know when, but yeah." Be like, all right, Jake, I need like a day or two. Look, I need a day or two. You know what I'm saying? I'll get back with you. You know, but it's one thing about me though. Like I do answer the call. I make sure that I am hearing God's voice. I make sure I am obedient in this hour, man.
Yeah.
You have to be obedient in this hour. You know, because what God is doing is amazing. Do anybody have any questions before we go up on out of here? Do anybody have any questions for Jay? Do anybody have any questions for me? Jay, where can they find your books at? If you could put everything down in the comments or in the chats, however that it says.
Yeah. The easiest way to find let me see if I can get, it's asking me to connect. We're doing all kinds of things here. So nothing more fun than watching somebody type. We'll see what happens. Yeah, we'll do that.
Take your time.
The best way to get a hold of me. Oh, it's not letting me connect to the YouTube account. So let me just tell you, and then what happens? See if it's going to let me connect. No. So website where you can find the books is jhallwriter.com. So JHALLWRITER.com. And that's where you can get God Help Me, I'm a Young Dad and College Unpacked. The podcast website, Okie Bookcast, OKIE Bookcast, BOOKCACAS.com. I'm also all over social media at Okie Bookcast. On Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and all those places, and love connecting with folks, talking about books, talking about fatherhood, talking about college, talking about whatever there is to talk about.
Wow. Now do y'all hear that? Guys, like he's definitely here. He's out here. If y'all, yeah, you know, if y'all want to connect with him, you know what I'm saying? Y'all can connect with him on Facebook too. You know what I'm saying? J Hall. You know what I'm saying? And I'll put that down just for y'all too. Now, if I'm gonna put his Facebook down just for y'all, if he can't do it, I'm gonna just do it like that. You know what I'm saying? J Hall. You know what I'm saying? Most definitely.
I'm going to go ahead and give those websites in the private chat because I'd be able to give you that.
Yeah.
And then you can copy those over.
Just like that. Yeah, that is good. That is awesome. You know what I'm saying? And guys, he giving me all his information like right now. So this is for you, yo, because he's putting it down in the private chat as of right now.
All right. You know? There you go. You got everything.
Yeah, guys. Look, y'all heard it right here, man. Y'all heard it live, and I know that everybody like, wow, like he literally just pops up. Yes, that's what I'm doing now, y'all. You know, that is what I am doing now, man. Jay, I appreciate this time with you.
Yeah,
My
thanks so much for the invitation to hook up.
Oh, look. It's look. I'm gonna say this. I'm already there. Just give me a day and a time. Look, that's all I need.
We'll
You know what I'm
figure
saying? In a link. Look, in a link. Since we like so far apart, but
right.
It's a thing. But it's a thing called social media. It's a thing called link. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
So, yes, Jay. God bless you and your family, man.
Yeah, you too, man. It's been great.
All right, you enjoy your day, man.
Take care.
All right, peace. Guys, that was Jay Hall. I mean, my great friend from Oklahoma, man. Oklahoma. You know, shout out to the Thunder that's doing big things right now. But y'all know me, man. I'm always going to leave with a great song. But until next time, y'all, this is K.W.U. If y'all don't know what K.W.U is, that stands for Kicking It With Us. And y'all definitely kicked it with us this evening. Enjoy y'all Wednesday. God bless. Peace.
JC, what a drums at? That's how I did it. I be little guy. Everybody sweat, let on the hill, on the back on the side. You feel so bright, nigga. Every time I put that white, I think got the enemy like me. That's how we back when I was. Got me on the beat, cool, still ain't realized they been the better game. Finally had this and cheese. I've been living the day that we gave up the ground. People that do that is me, and they think they know. Know they got to get out, baby. Now I'm blessing the world that they thought of me. Yeah. Get me with a little man, I can't find it. Thank you, a big man, don't you ever let him check. And I've been talking to the chicken. I'm ready to move with anybody who will show me. Everything never really would seem. Everybody looks like but they don't know what it's like. If you came to the rain, I had to go in the class. Got to this word and I landed. Jesus got my back and I know for sure. I should go to the lonely night to be a big man. I was drowning in this quicksand. I wanted money and cars. They say I'm a star. Still glory to God that I made it. The keys to the car, keep dropping these balls. I know that's the devil be hated. It's been nice, no kids in the streets, keep the kids off the drugs. They say that I'm nothing and that's what it was. But Jesus did say I'm enough. Security in the society, that's how I did it. I did it on God. I never was always quiet, but left on the hill, moving back with the side. You so bright, every time I put that white. I think got the enemy like me. That's how we got what I want. Got me all that in the cool, still ain't real. I've been living the better day. Finally had this and cheese. I've been living the day that we gave out the bread. People that trouble, that they be, that they say like those. You know they mad that they not baby on me. Now I'm blessing the bros that they vote on me. Yeah. Get me with a little man, I can't do it. I ain't gotta thank you, a big man. Don't you ever let him put the chain. I've been living the truck, I put the trigger in his own way. When did I go to the city, anybody put the show? I ain't know it, if I didn't know it. You know, you live in the world, but now I'm living like a movie.